guess we're live.
We are live.
Seems that way, for sure.
I think we got a few shows going on, so hopefully everybody made it to the right one.
What do they
If
call
you
it?
didn't, catch up.
Too many cooks in the kitchen. You know,
That's what it is.
type of thing.
Exactly what it is. Little miscommunication between us, but at least we're all trying, right?
That's right.
So, guys, welcome. It's Tuesday. It's breaking the mold time. I'm here with some of my bestest of the best friends that I have.
Oh,
Yay.
And I guess we get this show started. I'd like to start by welcoming our guest, Chan. Not
Hey,
she's a
Chan.
guest, but she's not a guest because she's family. But Chan, what's up?
Not much. Just chilling out today. Like usual, actually. I don't do anything, so it's hard to say.
Don't do anything. Wait, come on. Did you make chickpea pancakes yet?
No, not yet.
Is that a real thing?
That is a real thing. Yeah.
And they taste good?
Well, the internet said that you could, but I don't know.
Do you put syrup on them, or do you eat them with something else?
I mean, I would think you would want to put like hummus on them, but that is chickpeas. That'd be overdosing chickpeas, probably.
That's a lot of chickpeas.
Yeah.
Maybe
I
you
don't
use
know.
olive oil instead of syrup.
I don't know.
what about gravy?
So it goes from being like a healthy thing to an unhealthy thing that quick, right?
Yeah,
course.
exactly.
Why
That's
not?
exactly what happens.
So, Chan, I would say that, you and JD are usually attached at the hip, but today you're attached at the ear. So,
Uh-huh.
Yes.
I mean, you can only see what's going on to a certain point here, below the waist. Hand check.
when you,
Oh,
JD,
Damn it, I was delayed.
when you start looking like you're having a stroke, I know what happened.
I'm kidding.
Oh, shit.
Uh-oh.
Hey, babe, can you come up here? JD's making me jealous. JD, how you doing?
Otto
man?
gets jealous when we're too close.
I'm good. Still kind of feel like I'm recovering from an awesome weekend. It's always the saddest part is when it's over. You know what I mean? Everybody's giving hugs and it's all gonna go home, and you know what I mean.
Are you guys like me, where you start almost counting down before the next event, where you get to hang out and trying to plan
yeah.
what it looks like?
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
I mean, I can get somewhat of a fix, through the show, and it's not the same though.
Yeah, I wasn't able to make that show with everything that's kind of come up in the last week or so, but I've got like the TF countdown. I'm like, okay, in 2 more weeks, September's over, then it's October.
Yeah,
and it'll be the month, so that's cool.
That'll be the big one.
Yeah,
don't you?
But I can say that, like, 'cause she said this a few times this weekend, that RetroCon is probably her favorite show. Because it's a really big show, it's really nice, and then the concert and getting to hang out with everybody.
The twerking.
Oh man, it's so like I can agree with her.
Getting to go to Brick's shop to see Lego and
Yeah.
just I don't know. It almost feels like there's a little more connection there than at other shows, because like NJCC we're all busy, we're all kind of like doing our thing, selling stuff, running around, trying to get food when we can, and just being busy, and then most of the other shows we're all wandering around and we lose each other and stuff like that. But Retro kind of just seems a little different. There's more room to stand and talk to. Like, it's just huge. It's a huge space, and you don't get like the con smells as bad because the room is so much bigger. So everything has room to waft up and out of the
High ceilings. High ceilings are key.
What's the name of the other one we went to in like early? What was it, February? The other PA show. I get them confused.
Zolocon.
Oh, that's it. Okay, I feel like I get those two confused.
That's in that crazy
the
aircraft building thing.
the retired
High
NASA building.
ceilings in there too, so there's no odor in there either. So.
That's the place that had the funky lighting though, right? Someone said bring a flashlight, and I understand why now.
Mhm.
Speaking of RetroCon, I'm just gonna shout out right now my buddy and my best friend who came to the show with us, who didn't really know anything about the realm, is now in the chat. Waynold. Hey Wayne.
Nice.
Hi, Wayne.
Yeah.
Hi, Wayne.
Wayne, party on, dude.
Right. That's exactly.
Oh, Brian, come on.
Hey, it was just the two of us painting houses together for years, and that's kind of
Oh, that's him.
You were Garth.
yeah.
You told us about Wayne a few times. Yeah,
Mhm.
nice. That's dope.
Yeah, he had a great time, and we all did. But yeah, that was a first time experience for him with the realm and being at a convention and all that stuff. So
That's awesome, man. That's how it all starts.
Yeah, I was just gonna say, I think everyone has a similar story for the first time of hanging out for real. That's cool.
yeah,
Very cool.
awesome.
Hey, Gary, you know what's funny when you say that? Look what's right here. Do you remember this?
Oh yeah, those are that's so funny. They're like in the same bag I sent them to you.
Same bag. I've only used a few of the parts. So Gary used to, watch Enter the Realm and watch Breaking the Mold, and hits me up randomly one day. Yo, dude, I heard you started collecting, Modal Classics or whatever. I got some extra stuff. You don't mind me sending it to you? I said, yeah, whatever. And, send it away. And we just kept chatting from there. And now look at this.
Yeah, it's funny.
He's like family. Can't get rid of this guy. If I tried.
I moved to the same state, just too far away still.
But I think that's because it's the people, right?
Yeah.
I agree with that.
The people.
So Brian, you were with these two at RetroCon, right?
Yeah, man. I was there, and it's good. I just also wanted to show off something I got today. I know we don't usually do that, but I'm drinking coffee out of my new mug, and my camera's
Oh, nice.
Yeah, I need to get one of those.
Is that better? There you
Yeah.
go.
Yeah, there you
Yeah,
go.
now we can read it.
I'm sorry. I like having the mirror image so that when I go to scratch my head, I don't scratch the wrong side.
Yeah, like
That's the way it is.
I'm backwards.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Like C-3PO.
Mhm.
But yeah, man, I was there. Dave, I had a great time. As Chan mentioned, it is a really great show. It's filled with lots of good stuff. The concert's a nice touch. That's something new the last couple of years. And Chan, I don't want to have to just repeat everything you said, but I love being able to go up to Bricks' shop as well. He's made some adjustments since the last time we were there, which you would think would be not par for the course considering it's such a small space, but he's like tarped off the inside of his warehouse to create an air-conditioned work environment for the people that he has helping him sort bricks. And his even his storefront there, he changes up all the time, which is kind of cool to see. And I love sending videos to my family, and I'm like, you're looking at 1.7 million Lego bricks right now.
That's crazy.
Mhm.
So it's always the beauty of the organization. It's just awesome.
Mhm.
Dave, you've been there, right?
No.
Oh,
Wait, to Bricks I've been.
yeah.
I thought you meant RetroCon. I haven't been
No.
to one yet. But
Yeah. Well, we gotta get you guys down there, man.
Yeah.
We gotta have a big event.
Yeah.
They got hotels down there too.
Mhm.
yeah, I think that's going to be the course of action next time is to go and actually spend the night. Because when I mapped it out, it was 2.5 hours away, and I had something to do. I had family events all weekend, so
You just come here. You can crash the night before. We'll drive there in the morning, and then drive back with us when we're done, and
Yeah,
it'll be a
it's
big party.
Yeah, some of us are close by. JD's hour and a half. I'm an hour away. Bricks is 40 minutes away.
Just come spend the weekend here, and we'll go to a show on the one day.
Yeah.
So was that ZoloCon that we were at that was close to Bricks as well? Was that
Yeah,
the same
that's-
place?
Really close to his
Yeah.
place, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. All right.
Because we popped over there during lunch, I think. We went and got
Mhm.
food, and then we went and checked out his place and went back to the show afterwards.
Right.
That was really close.
Yeah, RetroCon's about 45 minutes from him. If you take the toll road, an hour if you skip out and cheap out on the tolls.
Yeah, it wasn't bad.
And beside the convention center where Cybertronic Spree played, it's a bowling alley and a family center where they have go-karts and all kinds of stuff. So
Oh wow.
It's like a knockoff docking or a Dave and Buster's sports emporium sort of place.
Go karts, bowling.
A KO, Dave and Buster's. That's funny.
Yep.
Cool.
Yeah, man.
yeah.
So what's next? What we got going on tonight?
Well, I didn't ask G Money how he was doing yet, or
How you
what
doing?
he
Sorry,
did
Dave.
this weekend, or
Sorry,
you
G.
know, like
Yeah, listen,
He had the
everything is.
glasses on. I didn't recognize him.
Oh yeah, right. I think my eyes break. My contacts are bugging me. No, things are good. Had some personal stuff come up. You know, my wife is doing a lot better, so we've been watching a lot more television because that's for the last 2 weeks really all she's been able to do for a little bit. So a lot of comedy, central specials and Netflix comedy routines. But we finished Dark Crystal, which I think we're going to talk about on a different day. So that was pretty interesting. Netflix did that whole thing, which is pretty interesting. And then they had a making of it as well, and it was pretty cool to watch that and see, kind of the behind the scenes stuff. I like that kind of stuff.
I haven't seen that yet.
The making of,
yeah,
it's
I
pretty
got
interesting.
pretty choked up.
Yeah.
I did watching that part.
We both got kind of sad at the watching that stuff because
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
It was nice to see whatever the topic is when people really are passionate behind it. It's cool, right? To understand the motivation and taking time to do things the right way versus just always being about the money. But then I'll admit to something. So I listened to this week's part of this week's episode of MPSP, and I'm not a big horror movie guy, or even growing up in the 80s, like the slasher movies and things like that. So I will admit I've never ever watched a Friday the 13th.
Me neither. Oh, I watched the first one. Sorry.
Okay, yeah. So it's funny, right? So and just kind of hearing Nick and the guys talk about the breakdown of that property, it was interesting. So yeah, right. So we started actually right before the show. My wife and I, we watched the first one just to try and give it a shot and say, coming up on Halloween time, something else to do for the next couple weeks. So I think we're going to take that endeavor and watch them in order. So it's a little interesting in 2019 to go back and watch a horror movie from 1980. Especially when you kind of really know the ending. Because you've heard it through other mediums and things like that before. But it was like, we'll give it a shot and see.
So what you think, Gary?
It's interesting. It's funny to go back and watch what originates all the spoofs and all the copycats, later versus seeing it when it came out, right? So it's just every action. Oh, here's a Jeep that's perfectly running in here, but let's just run away. It's like, it's really, and in fact, it was done in the serious nature, right?
Dude,
it's pretty
it's
interesting.
funny. It's funny that you say that because, when you watch things like The Simpsons, Family Guy, even Futurama, it would be years later when I'd finally see the source material that they're referencing. I'm like, so that's what that was.
Right? It's like, so I'll just, it's unrelated to the horror topic, and I don't want to talk too long, but I have a lot of younger associates, right, in their kind of mid 20s, and so many of them know Roadhouse from Family Guy, yet have never seen the movie, right? So their whole is from the episode of Peter punching people and yelling Roadhouse, right? And I'm like, so Roadhouse, Patrick Swayze, be nice. And I start trying to do quotes like, huh? They look at me like I'm crazy. I'm like, so you're quoting Family Guy over something you have no idea and you're laughing at it. Oh yeah, it's just funny. I'm like, well, what makes it funny? To just help me understand. I don't know. So, yeah, it's good.
Well, it's just different comedy. They don't have to understand it because it's not offensive.
Right, yeah, exactly. Right,
so they can just laugh and know they don't know what it's about.
So
kind of like when you're talking to somebody who doesn't understand your language. And they're just
But no, so that's what we did, and I have been on a bit of a buying hiatus. We don't really do this too much, but I got some toys this week. I got I think we're going to talk. I got the Fans Toys Spoiler Lambo. I got the General Obi-Wan Kenobi, who's now riding a dewback because I do that with every character I buy. I think sooner or later. And then I got the Mezco Hella came in yesterday, which is pretty cool.
Cool.
Yeah, I really wanted to get her. So
I can't wait to get that Obi-Wan.
yeah, he's pretty cool. He's pretty good. So yeah, it felt nice to get a variety of figures from a few different lines, and again, it's kind of got me interested in some stuff. So it's cool.
What's your favorite piece out of the ones that came in?
Oh, that's hard to say. Well, that's hard to say because I like Hela. I think I have a little bit of a a nerd crush on her from Ragnarok, but I do like the spoiler Lambo as a toy. So
Nice.
So, yeah.
Really? So you have a crush on her from Ragnarok?
We talked about that. Yeah, remember? On one of the episodes we were talking about this, but yeah.
It's all right. You can refresh our memory. What is it that turns you on?
I think we were just talking about different characters, and for some reason I like that portrayal.
She raises more than the dead, huh?
Raises Gary's pants.
Oh man, there we go.
Oh, I don't know, man.
What about you, Dave?
Oh,
What are you
thanks
up
for
to?
asking. I had an eventful weekend. My buddy had a kid a few weeks ago, so I went to go, do the right thing, buy a few outfits for the baby, go check the baby out, which was nice.
He didn't. The baby didn't look like you, did it?
No, thank you.
Okay.
It's funny you say that because I get raunchy, right? But with that couple, I've been flirting with that specific female, that wife of my friend, since we were kids. So it's funny you say that because I was like, when I got there, I was like, oh, thank God she looks just like Rich. They just look like you fucking asshole, But the baby's cute. It's just she has like that resting bitch face the whole time. So she's not smiling. Yeah. Baby just like mean. She's like this the whole time. I'm like, why is she so angry? They're like, oh, she came out like that. She's always angry. I was like, she's even doing that when she's sleeping. Like, yeah, she must be having bad dreams. But
you're not my dad.
No, that's the look she gave me when I first got there. She's like, I'm like, what I do? I just got here. Chill out. I got you an outfit right there. But yeah, my buddy Rich, we also work together. I've known him since we're kids. We have everybody knows I'm a pothead on the show, so I'll just go and say that's what we did this weekend. I go there, and he pulls out this nerd rope. Okay, so it's a nerd rope, but it's marijuana based.
Nerd the candy?
Yes,
okay.
Exactly. So I take a piece. I'm like, all right, I'll just take a small piece. I'll be okay. We're drinking these White Claw seltzers that everybody's talking about. That there's fucking, that they're hard to find now. There's like a fucking shortage of across the country. So it's like 4:00 in the afternoon. I'm like half asleep on their couch. And then it just got to the point where I was just like, hey, do you need anything from the store? We need some fresh air. I got to get out of here. So I didn't realize that, I was just feeling the slight effects of it. Like by the time we got back, I was like full blown, like out my face. That we stayed for like maybe another 2 hours after dinner. And I was just like, hey, we got the dog. We got to go home. But the truth of the matter is I just wanted to get the fuck out of there because my heart was racing. And I was like, I was starting to bug out. But anyway, I went home, fell asleep by 9:00, woke up the next day at like noon, and went to my mom's because my brother was in town, and she had some family over. My brother's having a kid. His best friend was over with his wife. They're 2 days apart, and it turns out she's pregnant too. So their kids are like weeks apart. So I'm bringing my daughter there. My daughter's, for the most part, most of you have met her. She's quiet. She's sweet. She doesn't really go crazy. But I'm like trying to rile her up because I want to scare the shit out of them. You know what I mean? So I'm like, why are you behaving? I'm like trying to. I was even giving her candy and shit.
I was going to say, somebody giving her candy and Mountain Dew and stuff.
Exactly.
And,
yeah. And I was just like, oh man, I'm trying to scare the shit out of you guys. But she behaved pretty well. We just had a good old time at the mom and dad's. And it's pretty much it. That was it. I haven't really done too much nerd related stuff lately. It's been a lot of family orientated things, but you give and take what you can. You know what I mean? So I was hating a little bit I was like, I want to be a RetroCon, but yeah.
Dude, just get in that car and go.
Yep.
Yeah, it's just tough, Brian, because like it's hard to get away, and I guess it's just being a parent, and my wife, she works hard, and for the most part, like she does like 70% of everything for the kid. So when the little bit that I do help her on the weekend, it goes a long way with her. So me going away for a whole weekend, I get back and she's like, here, take this. Like she basically just hands my kid over and she's like, I'm going to do something, whether it be go do her nails, take a nap, or, just fucking be on her phone, because my daughter just takes a lot of attention up. So,
well, Dave, it is sort of like a kid-friendly venue if you just want to bring your kid with you.
I try, but my wife's always like, no, you can go,
Well, no, you could have just picked her up and be like, hey, I'm going out for milk, bring the baby with you, and then come back 8 hours later.
No. No.
You can, shut the phone off, shut off everything, and then just see what happens.
Unless my kid falls asleep, you don't want to be in a car ride with my daughter for more than 30 minutes.
Oh, can't you just hang a curtain?
No. She's already. We're 3 blocks from the house, and she's like, "Are we there? Daddy, we there?" Are we there yet? Shit, that's real. That's some real shit.
Yes.
You gotta have that tablet ready.
Wait,
so she
Dave,
can.
He's not here to defend himself, but doesn't Jose do the same thing to you on your way to NJCC?
No, what Jose does, right? Jose's great because Jose, if you get him going, if you get him talking and you're driving, before you know it, you're there, because Jose could just fill your head up with anything. You know what I mean? And plus, if it's Jose and Eric's like half asleep the whole fucking trip, so he's like no use sometimes. Like he's just fucking snoring away. But now, back to Jose. Jose, on the other hand, on some trips, right, I'll be stuck in traffic for 3.5 hours. Jose's, that wasn't so bad. Yeah, because you were on your fucking phone playing games or fucking texting away, fucking recording verbally challenged halfway there. That wasn't so bad. Yeah, for you, motherfucker. Like I had to keep my eyes on the road the whole time. But I can't take that for granted because I couldn't do the trip by myself. I just can't. Like I've done it, but most of the time my anxiety just goes over the top when I'm by myself. I'm just like, should I pull over? Should I take a rest? Half the time I just push through it just because I want to get there. But I'd rather have the company.
That's one of the reasons why it was so weird raising 2 kids by myself. They turned into my travel buddies, like we had to make long trips every other weekend to get, my daughter to her dad and stuff like that. So it was like, we're an hour and a half in the car, the 3 of us together. We got to find stuff to do. We got to crank the music and just sing the whole way there, play I Spy, whatever. They got used to long road trips, and it was just me with them all the time. So, the 3 of us just kind of turned into pals,
So Chan, how did they react to your driving behaviors? I'm just kind of curious.
Well, I mean, the funny part about that is like my daughter was she moved up to. She lived with me for 13 years of her life, and then within the last year, she moved up to stay with her dad. He had full kidney failure, health issues. She wanted to spend some time with him. So she's living up there right now because she's afraid he's gonna kick the bucket, and she wants to make sure he's all right, So I didn't see her for like probably 6 weeks, and it was really hard. And it was right after she moved up there, and I by the time we saw each other again, we're in the car. We're coming back from where I exchanged. It's like 45-minute drive there and then 45-minute drive back. So 45 minutes after I pick her up, we start out, we're having a pleasant conversation. We're 20 minutes in, and then somebody cuts me off. And of course I'm a fairly nice person, but once somebody's driving like an idiot, I do lose it pretty bad. And I start going off. I'm like, you fucking moron. And like, da-da-da, and this and that. And she's like, There's my mom. Yeah.
I don't know why. I could picture Chan singing along, having a great trip. Someone does something stupid. You curse them out for 30, 45 seconds, and then go right back to picking up like just where you're at. That's like get out.
Yeah.
I mean, that's pretty much how it's just like da, 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 da.
Yeah.
Lays on the horn. You fucking idiot!
You fucking asshole, JD. You still want cookies?
Oh man, that reminds me when I was living with my mom when I was little. She also, Chan, I don't know to your degree, but she also, she couldn't stand bad drivers, and always like, God damn, you bitch or you bastard. And I remember there's this one story, she likes to tell it a lot. She's like, someone cut her off, and she's like, God damn bitch. And I was like, Mom, that's not a woman, that's a man, that's a bastard.
Well, my mom used to say son of a bitch all the time when she was driving. She didn't swear very much, but when she was driving, she would get mad and she would just say son of a bitch all the time. So I think maybe her influence with some road rage kind of sparked mine, but I got really bad. When I was younger, it was way worse than it is. I went from driving around like this area where people do drive really stupid constantly to a very small town where it's like 2 red lights in the middle of the town and there is nothing in any direction of that town for 45 plus minutes. It's just nothing, absolutely nothing. And I'm driving through the middle of town and I've got this big boat of a car and it has a pretty nice stereo and it's a loud older car. It's just a big beast of a car. And I'm driving down through the middle of town with the windows down because I didn't have a lot of money. I wasn't, no air conditioning ever. Windows down, like I'm saving every ounce of gas I possibly can. So I'm driving through this little tiny mountain town, like West Virginia mentality mountain town in PA. Yeah. With like the windows down and I'm thumping music like bass and shit. And I'm smoking a cigarette and I'm just, bebopping along. And everyone in that town, none of them know me. I mean, you guys know how small towns are. They're all staring at people driving up and down the street. And people are stopping on the sidewalk and watching me drive by and I'm screaming out the window. I'm like, what the fuck are you looking at? I'm like losing my shit.
You're in the wrong town, outsider.
I was probably like 23 years old. And they all called me city girl after that. And I'm not even from a city. Like it's not,
I was gonna ask, Chan, you ever been to New York driving?
Yeah, I've been there. I won't.
All right, yeah, about to say it's like I have a 5-minute commute to work every morning, and I get into fucking altercations almost every day. This morning I had a 4-way stop sign, and usually the right thing to do is one car goes, the next car goes.
Yeah,
right. So
right. Yep.
The car to the right of me had went already, so now it's my turn. The car behind it decides no, they want to go halfway into the street. So I went, I kept moving, and I'm like, you wait. I did the one finger. This lady's honking at me all the way down the next block, and this is in front of a school. She's dropping her kid off in school. So now she's behind me because there's like 10 cars in front of me. We're not going nowhere. And she's like, fuck you. Right? So then finally she gets out of the car and we haven't moved. So I'm just like, real good example you're setting for your kid. And this mother starts crossing the street. She's like, that's right. You're disgusting. I'm like, oh. Now they're arguing and I'm driving to work. I'm just like,
I'm out. Yeah.
Well, I kind of remember you saying you got,
hey,
it was no, like, I don't know, maybe a year or so ago, didn't some dude he popped you or something?
Yeah, I got into a fight on the highway.
On the highway.
on the Grand Central. And
airing out dirty laundry on
Yeah, I know. I didn't think JD was going to stay alive. I mean, that was only like internal.
It's been a year. I mean, is the embargo off? I guess?
So I just remember it was actually some of the worst road rage I saw with Dave was his wife had just gotten a car, an SUV, and he had stuff to sell at NJCC. So he borrowed her car and we were going to lunch. And you guys know how you come out of NJCC,
Oh.
the Holiday Inn there, right? And you can't get across the street, right? And there's no way to make a left turn, so you got to find some way to make a right and a weird U-turn, or just that's why you're usually better off to walk if you want to go to Starbucks sometimes, right? If in that particular venue. So we were trying to get over. I think what was it, Dave? Like 5 Guys, right? We were just trying to get over to that little strip. And I swear, and it was, Saturday afternoon. So that whole plaza by that Home Depot is just people everywhere. And Dave was just yelling at everyone so badly, where I was like, listen, and some cars had a little fender bender, bumped each other. So there's a cruiser right there, doing stuff, making even more congested with the lights on. I'm like, dude, Dave, just relax. I'm like, just relax. He's like, I don't care.
was that before or after my altercation on the highway?
It was before.
Oh, all right, because I think I've learned my lesson since.
But you were in Lauren's new car, and you're like, and Lauren told me not to mess up her new car. And
yeah, but dude, like Jersey's bad, man. Like people, it's just
dude,
the traffic situation.
I know, like who puts together a state where you can't make left turns?
Yeah, it's the same state that has a million rotaries like Massachusetts does, that people don't know how to navigate one of those either.
Well, that and like everybody in Jersey drives like they're gonna go 9,000 miles an hour, and then they're gonna stop dead in their tracks like immediately. They're like hammering on the gas, hammering on the brake, but at least it's not as bad as like when we drove up to Rhode Island. I thought he was gonna lose it.
Dude, I almost lost my shit.
Oh man, yeah,
Connecticut.
Driving.
Oh yeah. I'm with you there. I lived in Hartford.
Everybody's driving 100 miles an hour, whipping in and out when there's like a car length between everybody. Yeah. Like, where do you have like your yacht is not that fucking important.
Yeah,
fucking over-titled. Oh my god! It just.
Well, I will say this. You guys know I'm all about like I do like different cars and stuff, and I have a chance to drive a lot of different things. And some cars will affect your personality just a little bit, versus other ones where I'm like, when I'm in my own Jeep, I'm like laid back because it's huge and it's big, and I have to be a little bit more aware of stuff. So I'm like, I'm just in a calmer mood. And
what the fuck does that mean? That means you're in a fucking Jeep and like, if I fucking hit somebody, I hit them. It's all right.
But I'm not the ground clearance. Just keep going. I'm not zipping around. You know what I'm saying? Like I don't feel the need to. I'm just kind of, I don't know, it puts you in a calmer state sometimes. But this past weekend, I had and it was obnoxiously, what do you say, eccentric, Dave? Right? I had to put some miles on a car for emissions, actually, so it was legitimate, but it was a Shelby Mustang GT500, and it was an older one. It was an 08, so the clutch is like super hard to push on those cars, and it's like 500 horsepower. But that car will get you, I got up Sunday morning and ran some errands early just when there wasn't any traffic, so it was a little more fun to drive. But it'll, my attitude is very different when you get stuck behind someone in a car like that, Just
that was the green one? The green one?
No, that was a Challenger you and I had. Yeah.
But you see, my problem is I drive every car like I stole it.
That,
it doesn't matter what it is. Like I had a 1988 Pontiac 6000. It was a grandma grocery getter. You could put 15 people in the trunk of that car. It had velour interior and a flip sunroof. Like it was shit, man. And I drove that thing like I stole it, like all the time. I loved it.
I will say that I'm guilty of, using the loud exhaust as like intimidation factor too.
Oh yeah, that's always nice.
Anyway,
but PA drivers are different. Like it's either they're driving like it's Sunday every day, or they're driving like they think they're on like a NASCAR circuit.
I will concede with you there, because when we were, near Ocean City, Maryland, for some reason, I felt like everyone in the state of Pennsylvania, that's where they went for vacation. And in a touristy spot like that, you see all the out-of-state plates. And if I got stuck behind someone who were doing something stupid, I could pretty much guarantee it was from, I'm like, yep, Pennsylvania plate, It's frustrating. So I feel you.
It's weird when I go traveling, just even in the adjacent states to me, I never see Delaware plates. It's like I don't think anyone leaves that state.
No, I don't think they do. Right?
Only you.
They're like, I already don't pay taxes. Why the hell would I want to go somewhere else?
Yeah, JD's right. I don't know why I moved from there.
The only thing that drives me nuts here is the fact that like it seems like Maryland drivers won't get out of their lane. Like if they're on the highway, they're in a lane, they're not leaving that lane. Like it doesn't matter how fast anybody else is going. If they're in the fast lane, they're going 50 mile an hour and they don't care.
I don't want to get the hate mail, but when I lived in Connecticut, JD, you're right, because I could always guarantee, they have higher speed limits on the highway than New York does, right?
Yeah.
So, of course, if the speed limit's 65 or 70, people do 10 to 15 over it, thinking they're okay. But in the left lane, anytime someone was slowing down, backing up, I'm like, yep, it's a Subaru with a big rack on the roof, a coexist sticker and a Vermont, license plate. I'm like, every single time. I'm like, oh. But the one person who's been very quiet is Brian, and I have followed Brian from place to place.
Yeah,
and Brian has a lead foot.
We've driven with Brian.
Yeah, it takes a lot for me to say that about somebody else, but yeah, Brian's not messing around.
He's not.
Nope.
Definitely not.
No, and it's funny that you say that, Gary. The cars that I have owned and driven in my life, they're not super speedy cars. So when you do have a lead foot, like you really have to time your approach when you're gonna do those traffic weaves, because you don't have the drastic acceleration to like do what JD was mentioning before. You can just like zoom, zoom, zoom kind of thing. It's I really enjoy the analytical side of it. I'm a big surprise. Of course,
one of the first shows, I think I followed you to Dust's house from, was it ToyCon, one of them?
Yeah.
And I was like, why is he racing so hard? We're just going back to Dust's house. What are we gonna miss? Like,
it probably depends on what song is on the radio, to be honest. But I was just checking the map. For those of you who live in Connecticut, I find it very pleasing when Google puts me on the Merritt Parkway. I don't know if you guys have driven that road, but it is a windy road with a speed limit of 50, I think. And the last time I drove on it, I had like basically sometimes you can find a driving partner, and we were doing like 70, 75 on it, and it's a good time, man. It's a real good time on that road.
What do you mean a driving partner? Like somebody just going at the same speed as you?
Yeah, Brian's saying someone else
or back of you.
Someone else who will block him and take the ticket. Partner. He's like more of a sacrificial,
Well, basically, yeah. I mean, sometimes you just recognize somebody and like, all right, I'm following that guy, or they follow you, type of thing. And it turns out to be fun until they get off the exit that you're not getting off, and then you lose your driving partner, and it's kind of sad for a little bit.
Speaking of, so can we talk about the Fans Toy spoiler for a minute? Right, Brian?
Yeah, let's talk about
his alt mode is. Since we're talking about car stuff, his alt mode is phenomenal. It is so good. Like,
I have not transformed it yet.
What do you like about it?
I just think it's probably it's kind of like this, right? So they're all different Lambos at this point, right? In some different scales between DX9 and just like the regular Masterpiece cars. But it's just the paint, the Fans Toys paint on it. I'm gonna keep looking. I put him back in robot mode. I don't know. It's just solid. It looks good. It's got the right amount of details. The Lambo doors open, the headlights pop up. It feels solid and tight. When you put it together, like the materials. I just think it looks really good. And I think they nailed the shade of white, where it's not X-Transbot's beige skin tone color, and it's not as bright white as the DX9 one was.
Yeah,
I think it's a good toy. I think it's a good figure.
Yeah, they got believe it or not, metallic fleck in the paint.
Yep.
Also subtle.
And the blue paint was done really well. And I mean, I know like those pictures everyone made a big deal about last week was extreme, but in hand it's perfectly fine. And just I don't know, it's pretty cool.
Yeah,
talking about the thinness of it.
Yeah, everyone was making the jokes about, you can sponsor this robot for 50 cents a day and get this guy a sandwich, all that kind of stuff. But I mean, he's thin, but I mean, you gotta, how collectors are, right? You can never please everybody. So,
but it's only noticeable at a certain,
right?
Like,
and even if you
directly from the side,
right.
Well,
and JD, if you pose in any type of like pose with like some type of leg bend or an elbow, an arm, or the waist swivel, it looks like any other toy on your shelf. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and not only that, I mean, when you take it in a picture by itself, right? It doesn't capture how big this thing is. I mean,
Right,
it's
yeah.
super tall. I mean, it's really. When I opened it yesterday, after ETR, I was just like, oh my god! Like I think this is the best Transformer I've bought all year, and I just picked up that MP-44 last week. You know what I mean? This thing is incredible, and I haven't even transformed it yet, and it's painted to the nines. It's clean. It's extremely clean,
Yeah,
and
it's good.
it even has ankle rocker that Ace Milo could love. Um, the and the thing is I can't wait to transform it, because considering how big this is and how small an MP Lambo is,
Right.
like how the fuck did that turn into this?
Yep.
You know, that's crazy. I can't wait to mess with this thing. But yeah, for those of you who are putting it off simply because of how his sveltiness looks, is that the term people are using nowadays? In pictures, you're doing yourself a disservice. Go get them. Also, the DX9 Stunticons are also kind of lanky, and
Yes,
I
they
don't
are.
remember
Yep.
anybody, criticizing those for that.
Yeah, their Wild Rider was like very thin, also. Just in the profile if you did it that way. So
The Fans Toys price point is what, like 110, 115? How much is it?
105. Yeah, 104.99. I think most places.
And you warrant that, right? You think it's well worth that amount?
Well,
I
I
know
think
some people were
but
complaining too that that the price was a little up there.
it's up there, but it's a bigger robot. It's definitely painted, and it's got die cast in the right spots, and it's got ratchets also. So that's the other cool thing, right, Brian? Like his arms and shoulders are all ratcheted for a robot, I think, that size.
Yeah.
And if you figure what's a MP car plus cost these days, right? Aren't they usually like $80, $79.99, right around there at regular retail? I think
so. Yeah.
So, another $25. I mean, I think it's relatively fair for what that looks like.
JD, you don't have it yet?
No.
Yeah, you're not gonna get it?
I mean, I have the Motormaster. I would like the rest of the team to scale.
Mm-hmm.
So
just waiting for the right time, right?
Yeah, and
same
screws for Motormaster.
Oh, you didn't get the screws yet?
No.
No shit.
Yeah. I'll have them sooner or later. Hanny will send them to me.
Yeah, I haven't got mine yet, but he's holding one for me. So,
Brian, who was your QC person? Did you check your sticker?
34.
I got 35. Yep, interesting.
I have to say though, I mean, Gary, in the transformation, is it frustrating? Is it normal? What's it?
No, so and I was going to say, so for me, you guys know, I am definitely that Transformer collector that if it comes in alt mode, I'll usually transform it to bot mode for display, and then that's it, right? I'm not one to flip them back and forth, and I actually really wanted this guy in particular because of the alt mode, and I thought how good it looked, and I couldn't resist, so I changed him once to the car and had him, and I was like, yeah, I actually put him back to robot, so it wasn't too bad. And I didn't actually watch a video; I just intentionally just was kind of messing with it and using the instructions. I'm also not the guy to just do it by playing around with it and trying to figure it out, via my intuition, because I don't trust myself that way. But I didn't watch a video either. I just was like, I'm just using real instructions and just try and see how it works, and take it that way. So yeah, it was not too bad actually. It was, it's like when you hear people in the reviews say where it's somewhat somewhat intuitive and detailed enough, but not too crazy. So
I mean, so if the transformation's great, I mean, this might be like their most perfect release. Then I mean, I don't see a blemish on this thing. It's incredible. Well done.
Yeah, I'm with you. I like it. It's probably one of the cooler things I think I've bought in a long time as well. So,
shit, you make me want to rush mine over here now.
So, and but again, in Gary fashion, I'm like, I'm not doing the whole team because I don't want it for a combiner mode, and I'll probably do their version of Wild Rider and their Porsche. But as far as the what's his name, the yellow concept drag strip, Like I don't think I'll be in for him just because I never liked that car, even as a kid. Didn't do anything for me.
He was like my favorite one.
Really, with the double wheels in front.
Yeah, just because he was odd looking. I figured you would go for that one, Gary, because
It's eccentric.
Because he's yellow.
very flamboyant, and no, I'm just kidding.
I posted an article about the reason why the guy wanted to try having the 4 wheels in front, but I can't remember what the reason was. Do you guys remember what that was? If you've read it,
I don't. But I do remember that you shared it with us. Like,
yeah,
I should know, but
I can't remember now. Oh well.
it was a real thing, though. Yeah, it was a real.
Cool.
Dave, they had them for sale at RetroCon, so I mean, you could have got one if you decided to go.
Yeah, I'm kind of torn. The toy guy. He does the right thing by me. Here and there, but at the same time, I got handy on the other arm. So I buy one, I buy the next. I buy. You know what I mean? I can't just go with one person. You know what I mean?
I gotcha.
It's tough for me.
Well, it's funny you say it, Brian, because I was gonna, again, I'm that person. I was trying to leave 1 or 2 things to look for at TFCon. I'm like, it's not that far away. Dog is awesome, but I started to get the FOMO, right? The fear. Sometimes it's just like, I don't know, especially with fans' toy stuff. If you really want it, so I was like, let me just go ahead and get it, and I'll find something else to buy at TFCon. I'm sure it's fine.
Yeah, dude. That's,
cool.
While we're talking about TFCon, are you guys looking to pick up anything specific?
I'm hoping that a few things drop along the way that I don't have to pick up right now or have them shipped. You know what I mean? Either that or hopefully an exclusive or something to drop just for the show.
Yeah, I was wondering. I was kind of curious if there was anything out of print, so to speak, that you guys were maybe hoping to find there, for not so much of a late tax.
Well, I am actually, and I know he's older but sold out, and I think he's getting a reissue. Was the X Transbots Trailbreaker? Their version of him. I'm not sure if he's. I think he's on pre-order again at like BBTS, but it's X Transbots, right? So I know the quality continues to get better, and they've improved a lot. But I do remember, I think it was someone had him at the last Reston one, and had like the loose arm and stuff similar to what their skids did. But I don't know, I kind of like that one. I had the Bad Cube one before, and I like the alt mode a lot, but he was not a fun action figure, and he wasn't a great robot, really, in my opinion, just for posing and stuff. So I think if that thing comes back around. But then they have that blue. What's that again?
Surprising one, Gary. Trailbreaker.
Yeah, I don't know if we're ever going to see, see one from official MP, and I don't think that I do like that. Dave and I were talking. We were laughing because I'm like, people make fun of the new Bumblebee because of the feet and stuff, but I actually really like it in that Penny Racer alt mode. Once I saw the pictures of the new one compared to the first one. And that kind of cartoon aesthetic. So, but I don't know if that'll be out by then. Right? I don't know when that is supposed to hit.
I like the alt mode too, but the robot mode is just like,
the head isn't so great looking in pictures either, I think. But
he looks a little too slim, and then his feet are just fucking gross. But that's just my opinion of it.
Yeah, I'm. I guess
that's how I feel about Bumblebee.
Yeah.
I get that.
I don't know. TFCon pickups. I think I'm gonna try and find a DX9 Hanzo.
Oh, really?
Oh, that's cool. Which color are you looking for? Do you have a preference?
I don't know.
The blue or the teal?
Yeah, I don't know. Whatever.
Man, I remember seeing those for like $70.
Yeah.
One point. When everybody was dropping him for Hydra.
Yeah. Yep. I should have jumped on that knowing what I know now.
And that one's the Fuma one was more
that was more
that was IDW for sure.
Yeah.
I don't know why, but I still want to check that out.
It was MP scale though. Right?
It
was a cool figure. I had it for a little while.
when we went to see Paul in Rhode Island, he has Fuma,
Mm-hmm.
and yeah, he looks really, really, really good.
Yeah.
I just don't know if. I mean, I want the G1 sort of look, in the masterpiece aesthetic, just so I can stand him right next to the Fans Hobby Overlord. I mean, it's probably a little tall, but because I think Six Shot should be a little bit shorter than Overlord.
So are those your IDW versions of those? Like,
Well,
you don't-
no, I have the
the
IDW. Yeah, I have Carnifex, and of course there was the
Hexatron.
Hexatron. Yes, thank you.
Yeah. I still know some Star Wars Transformers stuff. You heard me?
Yeah, you blew
He
it.
still knows it's Star Wars. It's Star Trek.
I did that on purpose.
Star Treks. He knows it's Star Treks.
Star Treks.
Other than that, probably be, I don't know, anything that has come out lately. Maybe the Magic Square stuff I've missed so far, and if I can find any of it.
I hope they drop some stuff before then. I'd like
Yeah.
more from them.
I mean, they've put a bunch out that I just haven't bothered picking up. A couple of the Iron Factory Hound. You know what I mean? I never picked that up.
Well, Iron Factory Hound. All right, yeah, gotcha.
Yeah.
I thought you said Ironhide for some reason. Okay.
Yep. Ironhide Hound.
Yeah.
Did I make this up? Is there supposed to be an official MP Diaclone version of the Ironhide mold in the black like they did? Did anybody else see that? So I feel like it's been several months, but I thought I saw a picture at some point in time.
Dude,
I don't remember seeing.
Maybe
I
I
don't
made
think I
that up.
recall seeing that either.
Maybe you were dreaming about it.
I know, right? Maybe I was like, I just thought it'd be cool to have that van in black again. I don't know. I have to find it.
You know, that's odd that they never did that. They typically put them out in all the colors. The masterpiece line.
Maybe it is coming out. Gary's Googling it. You know what is interesting about TFCon though, for us being on the East Coast, or at least for me, is typically we drive there, right? So usually you got more room to buy more shit, as opposed to flying there. Like when we go to when I go to Chicago, it's like I'm limited to what I can bring back with me. Here I'm not, so it's like, all right,
Trunk
my
space.
credit card out or what?
Well, I think the first TFCon, right, that I went to was the restaurant one 2 years ago. And that was, right, I'm just trying to think for that year. So I came to the Toy Con in June and met you guys for the first time. And then we had NJCC. My first one was August. But the TFCon, Dave, that was when I saw the full-blown, rock swap before people even bought anything there, of like people bringing stuff, that they had gotten for each other. I think I brought you that big Donatello, right?
Yeah.
And then you picked up like 4 Mezcos from
Chris.
from other people and stuff.
And then like 6 months later, he wanted them back.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I just remember you're like, dude, my trunk's already full, and the show hasn't even started yet.
Yeah, I don't know. That's why it's a little dangerous for me. I know. I mean, even like I know Brammer, like he usually has to fly in from wherever he's coming from. And I remember one TFCon, he had to mail his stuff back because it was so much shit. I was just like, damn, But
Yeah,
I heard some people saying that in Chicago. They were saying they were mailing stuff back to themselves.
Well, man, that's what we're there for, right? We got to take it in when we can. Sometimes it's easy to say no to something online as opposed to seeing it firsthand in front of you.
Oh yeah,
like,
especially
I hate it.
Yeah, especially after a couple of days when you just keep walking around. You're like, I got to get something else. It's been a few hours. I should get something else.
I remember last year's show when they came out with that. I think it was the Azalea, the
pumpkin one.
Yeah,
right?
the pumpkin one, right? So
yeah.
I was like, I don't need that, right? But when they announced it on the speaker, fucking running across the fucking whole fucking room, I'm like, yeah, I need it now.
Dude, I think I came to find you or something, or text you. I was like, oh, there's an exclusive up here. Yeah, I already got it.
I already got it. I'm on fucking line.
I'd like to see Cybertronic Spree show up at TFCon.
Yes.
I'd like to see that.
So yeah. Seeing them at RetroCon, I guess there was a Kickstarter or some sort of crowdfunding thing where they were trying to get to Reston to play.
That'd be cool.
No, they were having a Kickstarter because they were putting out a CD.
No, I
No,
think
but
there
it
was,
was-
something going on as far as like a crowdfunding type situation to get them to Reston.
Oh,
So
wait,
Play-
what?
Yeah.
Something.
Jason Lowry said that they're trying to get to play at Reston. Like
Well,
they've
so don't say
emailed and tried to contact the.
it's not a crowdfund though, right? It's
I don't
it's
know.
more like a petition, I would hope.
I don't know
Yeah, I
exactly
don't know.
what's going on.
Okay.
I don't know specifically. I just know that they were trying to figure out a way to get to Reston because they couldn't get anyone from the con. They couldn't get in contact with anyone direct from the con, so they were trying.
Okay, so not.
They were
a
trying to figure
crowdfund.
something out. I don't know.
Someone's not raising money for TFCon to get the Cybertronic Spree there. I hope so. I hope not. That would be like trying to get a Unicron made or something like that.
So I'm curious, what kind of songs do they sing or play? Is it all just like stuff from like the movie soundtrack? Like is it just Dare like 15 times, or do they do their own stuff, or is it?
So a lot of it's like that, and they play other theme songs from other cartoons.
Oh, okay, interesting.
But they also play like classic rock stuff or like hard rock
80s
stuff.
Like examples.
Songs that get people singing, right? Like,
Yeah,
Mhm.
like
Yeah.
was the Don't You Forget About
Don't
Me?
You Forget About Me? Yeah.
Who is
was
that?
Oh yeah, they
one.
played that. Simple Minds.
Simple Minds. Yes, thank you.
Okay.
And then and RC, she's got some pipes on her, so they always
Yes.
play the Immigrant song
Yep.
from
She's
Led
so-
Zeppelin.
She sounds like the lead singer from Heart when she sings.
Yeah, dude.
Like she
Really?
she has a
Yeah.
hell of a
Wow,
voice.
okay.
It's unreal. These people are very talented too. They're not like that's the thing that kind of like it sort of blows your mind because you're like, oh, these guys are cosplaying.
Right,
This is
yeah.
gonna be silly, like this is gonna be entertaining, but you don't expect it to be awesome. Like they're a good band. They know what they're doing and they look amazing.
They
like
put on a good show.
their costumes are great. Like it's a fun time. It's a good experience. I think it's something everybody should see at least once.
It's kind of like War. Everybody in their life should see War and Cybertronic Spree.
They even had little kids there. Like the parents had like headphones on their kids and like they're watching this whole thing too. Like I don't know. It was just.
I gotta write some of this down because you gotta remember I'm not white, so I don't know half the shit you just said. Like,
Oh Lord! All right.
I'm just
What?
saying. I don't know who Hart is. I don't know who.
You don't know who Heart is?
Heart?
No.
Wow,
Sing it.
Barracuda.
Yeah.
Sing it, and I would know it.
Oh, I know. Charlie's Angels. Did you see Charlie's Angels?
Yeah.
Do you know the part where what's her name is strutting down the hallway in the sexy suit? The heels. She's like getting it.
Drew Barrymore.
No,
That's the song.
Cameron Diaz.
that's the Barracuda song.
Lisa Lou.
When she's strutting it.
It's all right. You guys will show me. You guys will teach me this stuff. But you bring up a good point, Chan. Like everything you just said. I remember Brian said something in the chat that I want to mention. Brian, you brought up a topic. Basically, you wanted to touch on the full nerd.
Yeah.
Are people afraid to let their geek flag fly? Considering the Cybertronic free experience. So what did you guys see, or what was going on there that kind of got you thinking? Got you wanting to talk about it?
Well, yeah, I wanted to bring it up because obviously I've done this twice, and I've done a lot of geeky type things with you guys, my friends of the realm, my family, so to speak, as well, or maybe not, so to speak. Maybe we are family. Maybe we have kids that are gonna look like each other that are unexpected someday. But anyways, basically, I find myself at this concert right now. I know you're all guilty of this. When the 86 soundtrack is playing, you're singing at the top of your lungs. I know you are. Even you, Gary, right?
Oh, Dare!
Yeah.
I absolutely.
You got the touch?
Even it comes on at the gym too, and like in this just rotations of stuff. It's pretty good.
But it's funny. I mean, me in my car screaming my lungs out. It's a typical thing. It's what I like to do. It's why I drive alone. And on the Merritt Parkway, driving over the speed limit. The like I found that dude, I found myself actually like restraining myself a little bit at that concert. Like even though I'm here with my friends, but it's just like, wow, this is something that I still hold deep down inside. Like I don't let that out, kind of thing. And then so, I went and had a couple drinks and started to loosen up a little bit. And then, some of us there had more than a couple drinks and really let loose.
Oh yeah.
I mean, Chuck, man, no shame. No
None.
shame. This dude
None
was
whatsoever.
having the time of his life. Oh my God, dude. I was having so much fun looking at him having so much fun. It was fantastic.
Yeah.
That video was great. I watched it like 5 times because it was just so funny.
And he just dances off afterwards, like happily. He just dances away.
People walking away, like move out of the way. I'm still dancing.
Oh man, it was so great. But it's like, I kind of wonder, like we're obviously in this type of hobby. There are people who kind of, keep it close to the chest or the vest or whatever the saying is, and they don't it's something that they do in the closet. And obviously here in the realm we do things a little bit differently because we talk, we have these shows, hangouts, the group, all that good stuff. And but I was just wondering, like, do you guys ever reach a point where you're like, all right, this is it's enough, I can't go too overboard? Just kind of wondering, do you guys still feel a little uncomfortable letting the world know how you feel about this hobby?
Not at all. I mean, it's obvious to see, like, even like all the art that's on, the tattoos on my body, they're all nerve related tattoos. Most of them. I have Star Wars on my back. I got Transformers on my leg, and I wear it proudly. You know what I mean? And most of the time on weekends, if I'm not at like a family, function where I might be wearing a button down or something, I'm wearing a nerd shirt, whether it be a Realm of Collector T-shirt or a Transformer T-shirt, Star Wars, whatever the case may be. My pajamas are all fucking, Transformers, Star Wars, etc.
Ninja Turtles.
Yeah, I'm very open with it. I mean, even at work, like everybody knows, like, isn't there a new, superhero movie coming out? Oh, ask Dave, he knows. You know what I mean? Like, people know, and they know that I'm a nerd, and those are people that know me. But like when I'm in a off setting, like you guys were at, right, and you're saying like, you kind of put a limit on yourself for how crazy you were gonna get. I think that like if I got enough of that liquid courage, like you did, and you guys were all there, I'd be more inclined to just fucking bug out. Like I'd be like, fuck it. My friends are here. I don't give a fuck. If I'm by myself or it's just maybe me and the wife, I might be a little more reserved, but with you guys around, and I know my friends got my back, I'm doing whatever I got to do. I'm gonna have a good time. You know what I mean? It doesn't matter. I'll give you an example. About a year ago, Robert D treated myself and Chris to dinner and karaoke. And I'm not a karaoke dude. Like, I really don't do karaoke. Like, I've never have. But watching them do it, and again with that liquid, we had like, I don't know, 8 or 9 of those punch bowls or whatever they were. It was hurricanes or whatever they were.
Okay.
The scorpion bowls.
Scorpion bowl. There you go. You got it. I've never been so drunk in my life, by the way. But I was on top of the fucking seating that they put you in a closed room, but like people could actually walk by and look through a window and see you guys if they wanted to. Like we were walking by and hearing other people and like taking a peek in, and people were bugging out. I was on top of those couches fucking singing the songs and going along. It was like one of the best times I've ever had. Typically, that's not me, but you know, if everybody else is doing it, you know, we're all having a good time. I'm just gonna let it all out. Fuck it. You know
There's
what I mean?
video evidence of this somewhere.
That was me. That was my fault. You know, like they told me no recording or whatever. And like halfway through, I was so drunk, I was just like, fuck it. You know what I mean? Like, let's show everybody how good of a time we're having. I think I actually missed breaking the mold that night. You guys were all mad at
You
me.
did,
Like,
yeah.
oh,
I think I was actually. I was like,
but I can't forget that. Like that's something I'll remember probably the rest of my life. Like just being that crazy and jumping all over couches and singing all those songs with those guys. So
Yeah, I don't know. I still find myself, I don't know, I'm always kind of a bit reserved in what I display out there about myself. And you know, it's only been the last few years that I'll start wearing geek undershirts and stuff like that. Well, not undershirts, but t-shirts, right? And but it's funny, like I'll have like if I wear them when I'm visiting my family, and they'll actually look at that and say, "Hey, what's that?" You know, I still kind of feel kind of reserved. I'm like, you know, don't ask me about my shirt. You're not about this life, you know, kind of thing.
Yeah.
You know, I don't know. It's I don't know. It's something. It's a quirk for me. Yeah, there's Rob. That was a nice comment. I was looking to highlight that one. But yeah, man, no holds barred. But I don't know about the rest of you guys though. I mean, Chan, you had mentioned. I know you had mentioned. You looked at me that night, and you're like, you're kind of beside yourself, but not really beside yourself. I think, or something like that. So
It's nice to see people let that nerd flag fly, you know, as Nightwing. I'm just I something very, very I've been reserved about throughout my life, and sometimes it was sort of pressed down on me very heavily that it wasn't okay to be a nerd. You know, my mom was, so that was cool, but outside of that, it was kind of difficult to feel like I was all right to be myself. So being involved in all of this with all of you, it's pretty awesome. To see it and to be a part of it. Yeah.
Yeah, JD, I remember you were like, "Look at my arm." It's like all your.
I
hair
know. I was like, "Oh my god! Look! It was like
Mhm.
hair standing straight up, straight up."
Yeah.
How about you,
Yeah,
Gary? Oh, I'm
Well,
sorry, Jan.
No,
I was gonna say this might surprise anyone who's gotten to know me right through the group, but I'm a pretty reserved individual most of the time, and I'm a bit more serious. So I've never had a problem like being fine with my interests. I just have a hard time letting loose in those settings. I think because of the role I have at work. I know, right? Shocker, Dave. Right? What's
yeah,
so
you get a few drinks in you,
well,
but
I was going to get there.
you fucking high fiving everybody.
So I was going to get there. But if I'm around people that I trust, and I don't need someone to take care of me, it's not that type of scenario. I won't mention other people who get like that, but it's still just knowing that you feel that level of comfort. I think it's where it comes through. But to Dave's point, a little bit of liquid courage can certainly, get me to lighten up a little bit, I guess, right, and be more relaxed. And whether it was Dustapalooza, right, the first time we did that, or TFCon last year with freaking Nick Brammer.
Yeah, when we went bowling and stuff, and the drink after and all that. Yeah, that was crazy.
All through dinner and stuff. But what happens to me though, Brian, is when I do feel that way, which isn't that often, but when it does, I tend to soar very quickly.
Yeah.
I peak. And then I'm like, okay, I'm good. And sometimes if it's like a 2 or 3 day event, like a TFCon, if I do it too soon, then the rest of the weekend, I'm very, very reserved again, just because I feel like I almost feel guilty about it. So I have to do a better job of pacing myself, I guess. Right. And just having fun with it along the way.
When you start seeing Gary do the detachable thumb trick, I'm
killing it. I'm killing it. Oh, I'm so good at it too. I get better when I've had some drinks. But I'm not a parent. I don't have any kids, but the dad jokes definitely come out, right? in the quotes and I do like to high five. I do like to tell my friends how much I appreciate them. I like to do the old Full House, cut it out, Uncle Joey thing. God knows what else I do, but that's okay. That's good.
Pizza and pass out.
Yeah, then I do like to eat. Like I start wanting to eat a lot of junk food.
Mhm.
Yep, that happens.
Yeah,
Dude. Yeah, I have to say I recommend if anyone ever has the chance to see this band, it's not so much the gimmick of them dressing up like Transformers and doing it. It's the fact that there's a fucking rock and roll band playing fucking Transformers music. And to be honest, like when they break out the Power Rangers theme song, dude, that got me like more amped almost than anything. And I'm not even a big Power Ranger fan.
Yeah, well, it's just the fact that they're playing that kind of music and they're playing it really, really well. And everyone in that room is vibing off of everything they're doing. It's just a crowd full of people that are into the same thing you're into. They're all vibing off of it. And you can just, I don't know, you get in that mode where you're like, yeah, that's right. We're all enjoying this,
Yeah, that helps a lot, Chan, when the crowd, like everybody's having a good time, when you don't have like a bunch of people just staring at you like you're weird or something. You know what I mean? Like everybody's there laughing and having a good time. It's easier just to let loose.
So all those songs that you secretly listened to in your vehicle, cranked as high as you can in traffic, you're now in a room full of people with hundreds of other people who are doing the same thing with you that you would be doing in your car by yourself.
Mm-hmm.
So it's no wonder Chuck went crazy,
Right.
like everybody's doing it with me. Yeah. Like it was, I don't know. It was really amazing. And I saw my old boss and my best friend light up. He lit up.
Yeah, dude, that must have been a great experience for him. That made the show first, then to top it off with that.
Mm-hmm.
That's fucking awesome.
It really was. And I agree with you. I think everyone should see them. I think everyone that's into this whole thing should see Cybertronics free at least once. At least.
No, I think that's cool to hear because I've never seen them. And I guess my first impression would have been, yeah, it's kind of like a fun kind of cosplay, right? You said, right? Kind of like gimmicky type thing.
Right.
But then to hear that it's actually, a fun, music venue is kind of cool. It certainly piqued my interest, I think, going forward.
These guys aren't Chuck E. Cheese or Showbiz
Right.
Pizza out
No.
there, right?
Yeah.
I mean, they're
Not
fucking
even.
real musicians. It's awesome. Even the bartenders. Remember when the show first started? They're like, "What's this?" And then they got into it, kind of thing. So,
Yeah, it was sort of cool. And then you see like all these dudes are getting their little fan crush out on RC as she's standing
boy.
there. Like it was hilarious though. Like it was hard not to look at these guys and just be in awe of their talent and like their cosplay. It was just a really amazing experience. It really was.
It was fun. I got to reiterate the fact that you look around and you see your friends and like Chuck and like seeing Wayne, like really seeing the point of what all of this means to us. You know what I mean? Like it's okay to be a fucking kid. I don't care how old you are. It's okay. Like, let that shit out. Let it go. Let it, just go fucking nuts.
Yeah, and the Lowrys were having a great time and just like video and everything. And you see like everyone in the crowd is like popping up and like getting, I don't know. They're just, yeah. That's it.
Yeah, and dude, shout out to Jason, Bethany, Loretta, Justin L.
Yeah.
For coming all the way up from Virginia and he's in North Carolina.
North Carolina, I think, yeah.
Dude, they came all the way up for that, and it was really great to see them.
Yeah.
Gort, Bricks, Retro was there.
Mm-hmm.
Probably leaving out somebody, but
I
it's
feel
great
like
to see.
New York Mike.
Yeah.
We saw
Your buddy Kyle.
Eric and Donna. My buddy Kyle was there.
Good times.
I feel like it should definitely be sort
Remy.
of like, yeah.
Remy was
Remy.
there.
Dude, yeah, dude. And
Yeah. and Wayne actually was smiling in pictures. There's no pictures of Wayne smiling, and at that concert, he was smiling in all the pictures. Even at the show in general. Like I haven't seen him smile in a picture in years. But it's one of those things, like you get in that right frame of mind around the right people, and you just can't help but let it out. Like it's part of who you are. And I think that the Realm should kind of have a little bit of a meetup there. I do.
Yeah, we should try to make that a bigger event for us.
Yes, absolutely.
There he is.
There
Waynold.
he is.
Yep, good old Waynold. You guys should definitely go though, and all you other guys out there, you should try it next year.
I keep saying I got to make that show, and next year I'm gonna have to, because you guys just make it sound so fun. So I need to do it.
It's once a year there, right? Is that one?
Yeah,
Once a year.
It's once a year. Yep.
Is it usually in September, Brian?
It's actually usually in October.
Mm.
I think it was in October the past 2 years, September before that, and of course again September this year. So right around that time, one of these days it's going to conflict with something, right? Because the end of this part of our year is very con heavy with Toy Con, NJCC. I go to Baltimore Comic Con. We got RetroCon. We got TF Con.
Mhm.
It's there's get-togethers at people's homes and whatnot as well for the holiday seasons, and I'm really surprised that I haven't really had anything conflict. And
You
everything's just kinda worked
seriously
out.
just said conflict.
Dude,
Conflict.
I'm sorry. That's so fun.
so yeah, it's great that it all works out.
Mhm.
Cool. So I guess we could look forward to TF Con.
Yeah.
Yeah.
With everybody together in the ROC party and all that. So
Yeah,
It's gonna be a good time. We got big plans.
it's such a good venue there too. I think, as I remember how much I liked it. I have two to compare it to, and Chicago in that one, but I like that spot.
Yeah, like you, Gary, that was my first TF Con as well. And I think that was my first time meeting up with everybody.
I remember you that year, JD. Yep. That was the first time we met, right? Like,
yep.
Meeting.
Face to face. Yeah. We were still on the shows and stuff together, but that was the first time everybody was together.
Yeah, I like the first few hours. I think you came up with Dom, right? So you and Dom got to at least connect a little bit on the way up. And I remember you were a little bit reserved, and I was like, "Dude, you all right?" You were just like, "Yeah, I'm just a little overwhelmed right now. It's a little too much for me."
No, it's like for me, it's just like the whole traveling thing kind of wigs me out a little bit, and my anxiety gets all crazy. But I don't know. It's been getting better. I would always get like that when I do the tattoo conventions, just because I'm working. You know what I mean? It's like it was always super hectic. Yeah, no, I don't have any friends. I know. Nobody likes me. It's fine.
Well, JD, specifically for your first convention, so for people who are coming who haven't been to one, or haven't or have been to one and are coming to meet people that and never met in person, it is kind of it's an interesting feeling, because you're like you're taking a big step, especially for some of the folks, the stereotype of the people who do this hobby. It's a big step for them. The first time I went was like was going out to Chicago. I'm like, here I am going this 12-hour drive. At least I was hauling the rock packs that year, so I was like, well, I can't let these guys down. I'm hauling the exclusive. But yeah, dude, it's like I had never. No, that's not true. I think I had met some people at NJCC, but it's I just remember like meeting Chris for the first time and how tall he was, kind of stuff like that. It was it's crazy. You didn't know what to expect, and your expectations will be fulfilled. That's for sure.
Yes.
So,
yeah, I did like after spending a couple hours with everybody, I kind of, it was kind of like, okay, I feel like I have known these guys for
forever.
Forever.
Yeah, I think you're right. It's Dave and I talked before I went to that show, and he was just like, "Hey, listen, it's a lot going on. It's a lot of people. You get excited. You meet some people. That you feel like you kind of know." He's like, "Just have fun." He's like, "Don't try and worry about trying to catch everything because you can't. And if you are focused like that, you'll miss out, right? Because you're just too worried about it." So it was definitely the best piece of advice. I'm like, let's try to be in the moment and just be flexible and hang out with different people in different settings and kind of go with the flow and however it works. And I think you'll have a lot of fun there.
Yeah. Something else that's good too is to think about, like, if you do have some anxiety for social situations and you get a little overwhelmed, guess what? You have a room.
Yep.
You can just go,
Mhm.
take 5, chill for a bit, and
Take
okay,
a quick
I'm ready to go.
shower, take a poop.
And
Yep.
You'll be good. You'll be all right.
I always have edibles, so if you just need to relax, just ask for one. Just come on.
And I mean, there's so much going on. I mean, if you want to take a time out, don't worry. I mean, it's not like you're gonna miss out on the whole con. There's fun stuff happening the whole time.
Yep.
There's always someone there to go talk to, and so
Or go eat, or go get a coffee, or go get fresh air, or whatever. Yeah, you're right, Brian. You can always match up with something.
People watch.
I think that was my favorite part of all of that, because like I first met everybody at NJCC, and that was just after watching the show for months and months and months, or shows, I never, I didn't even comment in the chat, like I never talked to any of you. And then meeting you guys at NJCC, it was sort of a close knit situation where, you meet a small amount of everyone. And even though I was kind of like sort of fangirling, because like you guys are on my TV at home, and and it was just kind of like awkward. And I'm like, I don't even know what I'm supposed to say to anyone, and just how friendly and how nice everyone was and welcoming, and just it was a very relaxing situation. And that's the other thing even Wayne was saying to me, is just everyone is so nice, like it's just a really pleasant situation because everyone is just nice. Like there's no real like conflicts or serious, like nobody's ignorant. Even at RetroCon, walking around, like nobody was rude. Nobody was, you bumped into somebody and it's like, oh, hey, sorry, man.
Sorry,
oh,
man.
yeah, sorry, man. And it's like, it's kind of like that throughout everything for the most part. Like there's a good, I don't know, environment wrapped around everything. And then there's like, going to Chicago, that was, wow, like just a freaking amazing time. And everybody was off, always connecting. Like even if it isn't people they connected with on a regular basis, this person's going off and doing this, and these guys are going off and doing this, and they're running over here and they're going to do this. And it was really stress-free, but it was a chance for everybody to hang out and get to know everyone and just laugh and have a good time. And yeah, grab a coffee or take a walk or whatever.
Yeah. Chan, you hit it on the nose. That's like half of the advice I gave Gary when we first spoke. It's just like you have so many people there that you're meeting for the first time, right? Just space it out. You know what I mean? Spend time with everybody, because that's something that I neglected to do my first year when I went. I was kind of like you. I was fanboying. You know what I mean? Oh shit, it's Dust and Chris and Ed and Jess. Oh my god. I'm here, like I had met some of them prior, you know what I mean? Brian and Dust, and Jose, I've met prior, but the rest of them I never seen before, so I'm just like, I want to spend some time with these dudes, get to know them. It's one thing you got to remember is, especially with the Jackal Squad, some of us, are really busy during that time because we're trying to prepare for what's happening later on in that day, which is surprising you guys with the stuff that we've been leading up the whole year to, you know what I mean? The rock boxes, the party.
So that people paid for, right, Dave? I mean, we want to make sure that they feel they got their money's worth.
Those dudes are traveling too, and those dudes are trying to, at the same time, they're on their vacation. So they disappear for a little while. More than likely, it's not because they don't want to be around you. It's because they're doing something for you. So keep that in mind, because that first year I went in Chicago, they were all in the room setting up the rock box. I didn't know what the fuck the rock box was. I think that was the first year we had one. When I'm knocking on the door, and like Chris will pop his head out. what's up, dude? I'm like, no, what the fuck are you guys doing? You guys been gone for 2 hours. I want to fucking hang out with you guys. I flew from fucking halfway across the country.
Yeah.
And they're like, dude, we'll be down in an hour or whatever. I'm like, all right, whatever. I got to go find something else to do. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
I didn't realize that the first time around, you know what I mean? And that's what I told Gary. Well, Gary, you know, these dudes are people going to be disappearing here and there. Just, you know, grab a buddy or, you know, take a walk. Everybody will be together by the end of the night. And that's exactly what happens. You know what I mean? By 7, 8 o'clock at night, we're all together and we're there. And then the next morning and the next night and so forth, we're all together again. So just give everybody their few minutes to get shit and get in order, and you know, you'll have a good time.
Definitely. Yeah. And that was the other cool part, because like we would take a nap and then get up and take a walk or something, go outside to smoke a cigarette. And we would always run into somebody either in the lobby or outside or wherever. And you just start talking to people, you know, and it's not necessarily everybody's there with the realm, but like you get into conversations about people, and then you introduce people to the realm, and people get into these conversations about how nice it is to feel like you're a part of something and you don't feel like a weirdo, you know, because like-minded people, right? You know, and that whole thing. And that's like the greatest part, is like it's like being around the greatest friends you've ever had.
Yep.
All the time.
Yeah, and you know, we usually talk about this closer to the con, but I'm glad we talked about it today because it's over a month away. So if you're still on the fence, I mean, get off that fence, jump over.
Yeah, jump over.
Tickets.
Well, I think having Wayne there this weekend really showed that to me, because it reminded me like how he feels right now, like even in the comments right there. That's how I felt the first time I met all you guys. It was just awesome. And that's part of what makes TFCon so great, is so many of us are together then.
International.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. So like Chan just said, you know, just be open to everything. You know what I mean? Make some friends, come through. Like if the only thing deterring you guys is the fact that you guys think that you might be alone, you're not going to be alone. Like there's so many different people and, you know, personalities to connect with. Just make it happen.
Right. And honestly, Rob, the joke's on you. I think we're all weirdos.
Yeah. Right.
Right.
We're all weirdos.
All right.
Cool.
This weirdo has to go to the bathroom.
Oh no.
Uh-oh.
So with that said, I guess it's time for us to wrap up. I just want to remind everybody about all the other shows we have. I think we have a cool little video to do that. So. And look at that. You're all weirdos.
Yeah. Thanks, Dom.
And we can't go through a Tuesday night without hearing from Mr. Harrigan BX. So he's going to tell you where it's at.
All right, guys. Hope you enjoyed the show. Remember to check us out on realmofcollectors.com. We're on Facebook as a group, Realm of Collectors. We're on Instagram at Realm of Collectors. Crashbox Customs on social media for all your Mezco and diorama needs. Mention the word Realm when placing an order. You'll get a surprise gift with your purchase. And don't forget the rest of the shows on the Cool Table Network. Enter the Realm, Breaking the Mold, Shattercast Uncut, Nerd Rage Radio, Plastic Fanatics, Toy D-Sock, Stasis Lock, Building Up to It, Fresh Communication, and Verbally Challenged. You can find the Cool Table page on Facebook along with links to all those other awesome podcasts. Good night. All right, guys. Hope you enjoyed.
Jose got a second job auctioning.
Yeah, he does. Right? It's like livestock and cars.
Wow.
But guys, thanks for watching. We'll see you guys next week, hopefully with a brand new and cool topic. Chan, thanks for making it on the show.
Yeah, thanks for coming by 2 nights in a row.
Yeah.
Well, thanks for having me, guys.
And can you let everybody know where to find you?
Chandra Cooper on Facebook, and Wookie in Me Pocket on Instagram, and Pocket Wookie on Xbox, where I will be playing Borderlands nonstop.
3, baby.
JD.
You can find me Pigment Surgery on Instagram and Xbox Live, where I will be playing Borderlands 3 as well. Yeah, you can find me every Tuesday night here with these fine gentlemen, this awesome crew we got going, and then every other Wednesday on Figga Bangin' with those fine fellas.
Cool. How about you, G Money?
Gary Allen on Facebook. It's the easiest way.
You just gave up on Instagram, right? Like,
I really did. I really don't do anything with it. That's why pretend?
How about you, Brian?
You can find me Brian Brink in the Facebook groups at Brinkalizer on Instagram, and yeah, I'm excited to for the next event. That's all I got to say. And I'm excited to transform this spoiler tonight.
Nice.
And I'm Energon Addict. Find me on Instagram, Energon_Addict. David Colon in the Facebook groups. Here on Tuesdays with these guys. And until next week, see you then.
Nice. Have a good week.
Say it with me now.
We out.